and a lot of ownership, right? Leaders cannot deflect or blame others. 100% accountability and responsibility, 0% excuses. It's always our fault. It always is. So we have to own that. And then it allows us to now not let other people control our business and our decisions. We have to own it.
Because the management and transparency is what's very important. So once you submit a referral, you're going to have your own Home Advantage account, and it's going to tell you where everything sits. So if you have 10 referrals that you've sent into the network, it's going to give you all 10 referrals. It's going to tell you every milestone that that client is sitting in, whether they're touring homes, whether they're in escrow. And you now can manage through the Home Advantage application as far as what your pipeline looks like for the referrals that you've sent. And so it's pretty sophisticated, and it's all click of a button, guys.
And now we're live on LabCoatAgents. LabCoatAgents family, we have a great treat today. We have Jana Uselton from Dallas, Fort Worth here today, and we're going to talk about your business running without you, and scaling your business, having an exit strategy, having multiple streams of income. So just a little bit of background about Jana. Jana is at EXP, and it has helped to stage and sell over 8,000 homes. She is also into the multifamily space. I'm really interested in talking to her more about that. But today's topic is, how can you scale your business so that you don't have to be present? You can travel, you can enjoy life, you can enjoy the money that you're making. You're literally putting all of your blood, sweat, and tears into this industry and this career. How do we sort of scale and exit? So Jana, we were chatting a little bit about some common friends, so really cool. I bet we know more people in common, but why did you want to come on and talk about this topic today?
You know, this topic is super important when it comes to making sure that people understand. People are wanting to, I believe, they think that I just need to be a business owner, right? I don't want to answer to someone. And then once we become a realtor, once we are thinking of us as a service provider or something, that is exciting to us. But what we don't realize is we are a business owner first. And when it comes to knowing what our superpower is, what our passion is, the goal is, just like in business, you may thrive doing that, but I believe there's a 7-year itch in business as well. When it comes to how do we exit, how do we build a machine, how do we actually build a machine that can run without us? As much as we all love real estate, you know, you start in production. Maybe we started in staging and design. We were hustling furniture in and out of properties. We were getting these ready to sell. Now, you know, building a team that's listing and selling properties. There's a lot of moving parts to business. And if we don't put the business owner hat on first, what we do is a lot of work. And then we get tired. We get just like a potential marriage. We get a 7-year itch. We're like, we're ready to do something different. But we propose, what if you were to create in the beginning a business in order that could eventually run without you, even if it was a real estate team? So we absolutely love this, Felix. We love real estate. But we also love to put our business owner hat on and say, let's build something that can eventually run without us so we can go do something else like multifamily.
So does that also mean are we talking about just running your real estate business this way? Do you have multiple streams of income? How many businesses do you actually own, Jana?
That's a trick question. Everything from 3 different coaching companies that are segmented within industries, to our staging. I'm actually at our staging and design business. I come here maybe once, twice a month, depending on, and we had a big meeting today that I was coming in for. Otherwise, I'm downtown in our high rise on the 38th floor, just being inspired, which is where a business owner should be, right? So with our training comes with our staging and design, with our EXP team, model property group, and then with our multifamilies that we're in 4 GP deals, which are all 4 different LLCs. Then we're on 4 different LP teams as well, you know. So we've stopped counting businesses. And the cool part about it is, each of them have to have a team. And I think if we stop thinking solo, that allows us to be able to say, my goal is to do, train, measure, improve. I do first, I then train someone else, and then we measure that progress, and then we continue to improve it and move. Like we move. We don't stay in the same position. Even as a business, owner, you might stay in that position forever. But the goal would be that we're continuously moving through our companies.
I love that. I love that. So let's bring it back to real estate, because I know a lot of the people watching want to scale their solo business. They want to maybe start a team. They want to scale that team. We also have broker owners. I used to own a real estate franchise, hated that experience. But scaling a brokerage, to sort of sell or have an exit strategy for. So let's dive into that end of it. You have, wow, such great background and experience, and it sounds like you own close to a dozen businesses, but you're able to do that, and you're able to go to Cabo next week by running your business in your life in a certain way. And I see people getting stuck with one transaction a month and being overwhelmed and overworked at just closing a dozen deals a year. So let's dive into that part of it.
Well, I believe pressure creates diamonds. And I believe that, one of our mentors, Grant Cardone, talks about, if my team ever feels a little stale, we're kind of on autopilot, I'll throw an event. Hey, we're having an event in 2 weeks, let's hustle it up. Let's continue to put pressure on ourselves, our teams of production, of next leveling, because we believe that is the 10X motto. That is the strategy. And I believe whenever we get stuck in a business or a position, whether all the pressure is on us or now we're managing a team, broker owner, we got franchises, we're doing all of this, we're really, are you just in a job? Because a true business can actually run without the business owner. So even if you're team lead, even if you're the broker, who are you training up? And I believe in a right hand and a left hand. You can't just have a right hand person that you leave and then all of a sudden they're gone, or they've literally created a coup against leadership. And that's happened to us before, right? I've had one that I trained up. My executive director started stepping out of the business. One of our other mentors, Jay Kinder, talks about, I got slapped back into my business because you hire someone, you train them up, and then all of a sudden they're out. They go start another business. They go do something else. Now you're slapped back into the business and you got to kind of start again. I had to do that 5 times before I got it right, Felix. And that was back, mid 20s. And we feel like that when you have a right hand and you have a left hand, and the bigger your team can go, you start another team, and you don't become the team lead. You actually place someone that's there, and then you are now working with all of those. So my job is to sit high, not high and mighty that I'm not doing anything, but I have to be just voice. Imagine if you were not the hands and feet of your business, you were just the voice. And Grant's great at that too, right? He can get on and he can promote, but he's not in necessarily all of the tactical doing. He's not on the phone doing sales. He's not out showing properties. Elena's not necessarily showing a ton of property. She has built a team and scaled. So you scale through people.
Wow. So that's great. Thinking about just being the voice of your business and how could you operate that? So if we're traveling, if we're with loved ones, and we can still scale and grow as long as we're just the voice. But if we have to do anything but being the voice, we're going to be stuck in our businesses. So when you're talking to your business partners and when you're talking to coaching clients, where do they start? So they're a solo agent or they want to start a team. How do we sort of scale and think about exit strategy there?
Yeah, it is really about that reverse engineering. What are you wanting to build? Starting with your why, starting with purpose. We consider, we have a model business academy, and we think about that business owner that eventually needs to get their business in order to then exit the business. And so it's like a framework. Your fundamental is your purpose. That's your foundation of your business. So when you're thinking about that, even if you're the only person, right, you're just starting out, what is mission, vision, core values? What are my beliefs? What am I trying to create? What is my why? And then you're literally building the pillars of the business. And that's your procedures, right? Those processes, procedures. How are you protecting the business? What partners do you have to grow the business? And then when it comes to like the roof of your business, it really is the people and the profits. You cannot scale a business without people, and you can't scale or be in business without profit. So watching those numbers, and I am not a numbers person, but when it's dollars, I started saying every single number represents a dollar, and every business owner has to understand math. They have to understand the finances. And if that is not their superpower, they're working alongside someone that is able to be that expert and that ear to them of what decisions we need to make. I've done it wrong so many times, but what I have done right is get the right people in the business that are helping, right? My weaknesses are their strengths. And that allows us just to continue to be in strategy mode all the time. That's my job, strategy mode.
So how did you get to where you are today? Where you started out as a solo agent like everyone, and did you grow to a team? Did you grow to a brokerage? I'd love to sort of pick your brain on that experience and that journey, and honestly, not getting it right 5 times, because I'll tell you, I cringe when you said that, because I walked the same path, and the first time that hiring didn't work out for me, I just wanted to go back and be solo. And it took me a long time to go back to hiring and leveraging people. And so I'd love to sort of see what you did to get through that.
Well, we really started in our staging and design business, and I was myself, my best friend, right? And then we started literally working with realtors. So I was a solo business owner with part-time hires in the beginning. And then as we continue to grow, yes, now you're managing people. And I don't know a school that teaches you how to manage people. And you get jaded because someone leaves. You train someone up, they leave. And you're like, I'm back in that job. If you want it done right, do it yourself. That's the motto. I hear my dad, right, in my head, like, you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. And so I had to really get out of that stinking thinking of, if I want to help more people, back to the purpose. If I want to help more people, no matter if you're a realtor, you want to help more people. It doesn't matter what you're doing today, but if your heart is to help, then I had to understand I had to scale. I had to hire more people, because I could be on one job in one house working with one client at a time. And if I wanted to help more people, I had to clone myself. And that allowed me, when I did get something went wrong, a lot of it my fault, I can't always blame the people that I hired. I have to say, what did I do? What did I get wrong? And how do I do a better job? How do I be a better leader next time, so they don't exit? They don't want to do their own thing. So it really was a lot of self-analysis and reflection, and a lot of ownership, right? Leaders cannot deflect or blame others. 100% accountability and responsibility, 0% excuses. It's always our fault. It always is. So we have to own that. And then it allows us to now not let other people control our business and our decisions. We have to own it.
That's amazing. And when you're going through that, just really being focused on that higher purpose, I thought about when I first started volunteering, and I don't know about the rest of the audience that's listening to this, but I volunteered for myself first, and it was a selfish motive of just wanting to feel better about who I was. And then at some point during the volunteer process, you go beyond yourself and you just want to serve people. And then you go from there to, well, how do I serve more people? The higher purpose. So higher purpose is maybe you organize a volunteer event, or you fund volunteers, and you donate to charities, and you become a philanthropist. But to sort of start thinking from a solo agent perspective of just, well, how do I serve one homeowner, to how can I serve more homeowners? That really what you said really impacted me about really focusing on that really higher purpose. What is the end goal and what is that end vision that you have? And it probably scares you a little bit. I mean, when you're going through that, I had flashbacks of my 20s and thinking, yeah, some of my goals really scared the crap out of me.
They should. Your goals should pull you forward. They should be so big that they scare you. And if you don't have people around you speaking life into you, speaking purpose into you, and you don't need them. But it's the opposite. When the opposite happens, then it really can, pull you down. So it's like getting the right people on your team, personally and professionally, and making sure we're on purpose together. We're shooting for something so big, so high that it does scare us. And what happens if it comes true? What happens when we reach that? So back to, any ministry, any outreach, any give backs, that causes camaraderie. And you want people on your team that are focused together, that's more about purpose than just the dollar, because dollars will come and go. What are we doing with those dollars? And one thing about our real estate team, again, I'm not starting out as a solo realtor. We have a team concept immediately. We're moving into team because we want to do big things. And at the end of the day, what is the advantage of joining our team versus being a solo realtor, joining another, a brokerage or whatever? You've got to have such compelling offers, and it may go back to your purpose. It may go back to your goals. We want to do something together. People want to work with professionals and professional teams. I want to list my properties with someone that is like, has such high goals. They're a team concept. They're winning together. I see value in that. And, that's, to me, I saw that. I knew that I never wanted to be just alone in business. And none of us are alone, but I wanted to help more people, reach more people, have big goals. And for me, that spoke to the path that I took.
Wow. So as you sort of start this journey, how do you hire? Is there a process you go through with hiring? There's different methodologies that people have. Some people hire the best candidate. Some people hire to a culture or to people that believe in their vision. Can you share with us how you are hiring for your companies?
Well, it goes back to your thought process. What are their goals? Do our goals align? So that's one of the first questions is almost in a discovery meeting is, talk about where do you see yourself this next year? Okay, what has been your production and your passions last year? Where are you moving? We want someone that wants to jump on not a moving train, but literally an airplane. Because that's what they're doing with our other companies. They literally have access to our staging and design team. They literally have access to our training within multifamily. We want people that also have that mission and purpose to build legacy wealth. They're in production for a season, but they know it's the cash flow quadrant. We're never stuck in one of those quadrants unless it's the investor quadrant. And so we want to teach people what we've learned in moving to that multiple streams of passive income. That's the cool part. We've got our friends in EXP that live in Puerto Rico for certain reasons, right? We've got the people that are winning at such incredible levels that are like, I need to know that multifamily stuff. Like they are never settled. They are never settled. We want to work with team members that are never settled. They are 10X. They live, they breathe that mentality because we know as tough as real estate is and what's happening now, that's not an excuse. That's an opportunity. That is an opportunity. So what are we doing to sharpen our skills now? How are we bringing so much value to a seller that they're like, I have to list, and you've convinced me enough that now is the time. When no one is doing it, is the time to do it, right? Blood in the streets, even if it's your own, you move. So that is the 10X mentality that we look for when we are growing any of our companies, because everyone is a leader.
Wow. I could definitely feel your passion when you talk and the conviction of where you're headed in your business. And that certainty is I mean, I'm sure why people just gravitate towards you and follow you because I mean, I feel compelled to want to know more about you and how you do business, just by how you're talking and the energy that you're giving off. I love that you are recruiting like-minded people that have the same process. That's how I think you're moving so fast. I think sometimes we try to force someone into a position because of a necessity, a need to scale, a need to grow. And I've been there and I knew that they weren't going to be there long, but I just needed a placeholder. And you just don't do that. You just make sure that their vision's aligned and you make sure that they're a great long-term fit and they really want to be and thrive in that role. And I love that. I've had to learn that through the lumps of the wrong hires and making those wrong management decisions. So I'm also curious, how do you sort of instill this into other people? Like, so they can join you at EXP. Can they also coach with you? Like, let's say I wanted to coach with you to build out what you built out. Do you also provide coaching?
We do. We have our Model Business Academy, and this is what we've learned on how to get ourselves out of the business and create just another machine, right? Our businesses should be a machine on purpose and pouring out profits. So we do coach other business owners and how do we get your business in order, and then how do we get it to run without you? No matter if it is a real estate team, just you're in real estate services, we usually stick within the industry of real estate just because that's what we know and love. And there's so much opportunity. And I think it's like us, we're not going to go open a bakery right now. I might be an investor in a bakery, but I'm not going to put my attention there. I'm going to say, what is a bolt-on? What is a bolt-on business that really we become the one-stop shop? So I didn't mention the property management company or the construction company as well. And we have short-term rentals, right? So those are other things that we have that other people are in charge of, but you're really creating an ecosystem. And for business owners that sounds enticing to, when one business is struggling a little bit, no problem. We have another business that's picking up and is a higher producing machine, no matter if it's cyclical or not. So people that want to build bolt-on businesses, sister, companies and that ecosystem, we would love to help people go there. And more exciting is just building a legacy well. When I leave, my husband's no longer here. Our boys literally have businesses that run without their parents. And that's unbelievable, whether it's properties that are going from 0 to 800 doors within 8 months, 32 million assets under management. You mentioned Brad Sumrock, right? This can happen to anyone. And all of a sudden, our business, we look at it differently. So kind of like moving into the chopper of your life, and you can see where there's an accident about to happen. You can see, when traffic is moving very smoothly. That's what we have to do, and that's what we help business owners do.
Well, I love that you do that. That's amazing because I think a lot of people can come up with that big vision, that big dream, but then they say, but how do I get there? What's the plan? I need the actionable step-by-step process to get me from where I am to that great vision. And you've done it time and time again with multiple businesses. So that's amazing. I think the way that you give illustration to it with the chopper is really cool. So can we dive into a little bit of the multifamily stuff a little bit?
Let's go.
What got you started there? How the heck did you go from 0 to 800 doors in 3 months? Like,
oh my
I have so many questions here now.
I know. It really is. Like, once you know it, it's like EXP. Once you know it, you can't unknow it. You can't unsee it. So for us, it was, a quick story was 3 years ago, popping into a Brad Sumrock event because Grant, one of our mentors, was speaking. I had no idea. I didn't know anyone in the room. It was a multi-family room. you've been in the same room. And then you're like, wait a minute, back up. This is real estate, but it's like algebra and geometry or trigonometry, right? Like different topics, different money, it's the Wild Wild West. We've got pocket listings and off-market deals, and like it's a good old boys club, and so I'm like, what is going on? So that started the learning. And then we started just going on that train with our coaching company within our industry. We started taking our top tier and started doing some training and coaching with them as we were learning. We took action into limited partners, meaning silent partners on some properties. And that was about 400 doors, multiple complexes. And then we became an investor before we started doing GP deals, which means now we're on the buy side of them. We're on the operations side, the ownership at the next level. And so that has been a super just game changer. And by the way, all of these extra businesses didn't happen. This 20 years as a business owner, the first 15 was one business, right? And I would say even within the last 3 years, we then started coaching, doing all of that. And then all of a sudden in the last 3 years was where we've done the stackable businesses, 2 more coaching companies for business owners, for multifamily investing, teaching 101 what we've learned and are doing, creating our partners that want to actually get into this. That's just been the legacy building wealth. But none of that, we wouldn't be there if it wasn't for our, learning all of the processes of growing up in our business and all the struggle. So no one get discouraged. Everything that we've been through on this side only is preparing us for the next half. And that can happen it's like compound effect, right? Don't we love Darren Hardy? Like compound effect. This could happen in such a short season that you're not even the same person. So that's the cool part.
Can we talk about that? Because I feel like I want to inspire and motivate people that whatever they're dealing with right now is just a season and in just a moment in time. And the pendulum could swing the opposite direction in any second. So I could definitely tell you believe in all of the projects. You're so passionate about every single project that you are in. I love that. Can we talk about some of like the stuff that we've dealt with to get here, the temporary failures that we've had, the things that were in our businesses that gave us feedback to make the changes necessary to get you where you are today. So maybe if I was a listener and I didn't know you, maybe I'm thinking that you just kept on winning for the last 15 years and you kept on making all the right decisions the last 15 years. But being an entrepreneur myself, I know that's not how it looked behind closed doors.
Not at all. What you see today and what I've described literally has been it's like the struggle bus, right? And then all of a sudden we got a few things right. And by the way, you only have to get a couple things right. And I believe remember when I said the pressure creates diamonds, all of that first for 15 years was really the pressure, the cooker, the decisions, that someone leaving and starting another company and taking half of our people with them. And the times that we've, had, I can't tell you how many times people have like stolen from our company money and inventory and on clients, like all of that, right? Thank the Lord, the good Lord, that I'm still married to my husband of 27 years with 2 amazing young adult sons that are also working in our businesses. So that, thank goodness, I didn't lose my marriage or anything, didn't lose my sanity. I'm a faith-based person. So I think that knowing my purpose kept me, when clients are upset and, you've got the struggle of, do we have money in the account to pay everybody? Bills piling up, like all of those things, questioning and doubting and confidence and all of those, that was the pressure cooker that then propelled us into diamond mining. And that's who we're looking for. We're looking for people on the come up to join our teams and to coach and to be on this multifamily journey with us that get it. They've been in the pressure cooker, but they're okay being in the pressure cooker because they know my struggles, my challenges today are only preparing me for my future. And it's like meeting that one right person. It can happen in a day. It can happen in a moment, an instant. I can't, the GP partners we have literally met within the last year, and we own multiple millions of dollars of property with them. And that would have never happened if we just weren't open to continuously learning and improving and saying, what's my next, right? We plan, we do, we measure, we improve, and we keep moving. If I was still stuck in my first business, then I would have never, if I would have said, if you want it done right, I got to do it myself. I can't hire. If I didn't try again, I could never have been where I am today. And it's like the overnight success that wasn't the overnight success, right? It was all those years of singing in the bars and doing all the stuff to where you're finally on stage and you finally get to motivate people. But they have to understand it was a journey. It was a 20-year journey for us.
Wow.
And our goal is to make it a 3-year or 5-year, 7-year journey for someone else, because we didn't have anyone to model after until these last 3 years.
Wow, that's such an amazing story. And thank you so much for being so transparent about it, because I think so many people feel like the successful people in their marketplaces are overnight successes, but that's just not the truth. You don't know what they're doing, having long nights, weekends away from their families, the struggles that they've gone through, the financial issues they've gone through to get to where they are today. And to your point, you still kept the belief and you moved from failure to failure without quitting, with the same motivation and excitement for the end goal as day one. And early in my process, in my career, I didn't do that. As soon as I hit a big failure, I, like a lot of the listeners here, stopped, and it hurt a lot and made me rethink everything. And then I think I paused for sometimes a couple of years from the pain, and then I moved forward. Your success had been so, I think, inspiring for a lot of people listening, because I think you did it. You made the mistakes and you just said, well, what can I learn from this as a leader and as a person? And let's keep on moving forward. So that's amazing. I would like to learn more about some of the other projects that you're doing also. So you just one day met one of the partners for one of the multifamily projects that you picked up recently. So for the audience that may not be familiar with multifamily, limited partners, you're basically a silent investor, and you're investing in someone else's project, and typically they give you a guaranteed rate of return on the money that you're putting in there. We can talk about accredited and non-accredited investors, but really, like, that's what a limited partner is. And a GP, general partner, is someone that is running the transaction, running the show. They're identifying properties, they're evaluating these multifamily properties across the nation. They're interviewing the management companies of the properties, they're doing all of these things as a business. So is there a reason why you started as an LP before you became a GP? Was that on purpose, or was that because you had time?
It was intentional, for sure. Our boys played football, and so I love football analogies, which is kind of odd for a girl, but it's like, you're not going to get on the field and suit up and like actually be an active player until you know the game. So knowing the game meant starting as an LP. I wanted to be a fan in the stands. I wanted to understand the game, and to be an investor, you first need to invest. So for me, I wanted to say, what properties, how do I find a good property, know that it's a good investment, ask the right questions as even an LP, to say, this is something that I feel confident, comfortable putting some assets in, some money, and then being able to have a good projection of an ROI. And that may be somebody that I want to be on a GP team with. So we did some Cardone Capital stuff. We did some other things, down in San Antonio, in in Phoenix with people that we wanted to partner with eventually on a GP team. So I would say strategically, right? Like if you're having some money, whether it's in stock market or wherever, that we believe that homes, and don't let multifamily scare anyone. The multifamily apartment complexes are just a bunch of homes under one roof, right? We already know the single family play. We already know we're already selling those. Why would we not buy? Would we buy 100 residential properties to flip and fix and all of those things, or buy one property that has 100 doors? That's one closing, and that we usually get a double within 5, 7, 10 years. So you buy something and you're not going to go put all your money in $10 million. You're going to do it with people, as you mentioned. So it's just more protected. It's already an income producing property. You're buying a business. That's what you're doing. Multifamily is just a business. So I wanted to invest in a business first as a fan in the stand before I suited up and got on the field to actually play a position. Because that's what a GP team is. We're not collecting, rent checks, as you mentioned, but we're the executives around the table to say, how's the business doing? What is our NOI? What is our expenses? How are our capital expenditures going with our improvements? Oh, the staging and design team, how's that model going that we set up? And maybe we have some short-term rental within one of our portfolio assets. How are those doing? So there's just all of this. Once you get in the mindset of your business, whether you're a solo realtor, whether you're part of a team, whether you're a business owner in another sub industry, you have to see yourself as the CEO of your company, because that helps you transition and keep the right mindset in these other businesses. I'm not really in the doing except to learn it and then teach someone else and continue to move and do the next thing. So that's why we started with LP.
So when you wanted to get into multifamily investing, you first went to our mutual friend, Brad Sumrock's course. I know Aaron Katz also, if you know Aaron. Yes. Yeah, yes. Great. He grew up in the same hometown as me, Fairfax, Virginia. So
okay.
Yeah. So you went there, you got the information, and then you said, okay, I want to be in the stands. I'm not necessarily ready to be a player on the field yet, but I want to learn and be engulfed in the process, understand. And as an LP, you were given additional training, additional information on how the transaction worked, and you got to a comfortability where you said, hey, I think we're ready to now implement what we learned in the beginning, and let's go ahead and be a GP and put it in action. Is that how the process went behind the scenes?
Yes, I would say that I wanted to sit in the stands and actually, was like, I've got to learn this. It is a new language. It is new lingo. It's new processes. And so I've got to know first, I've got to be a savvy investor, right? I have to be a sophisticated investor that understands this asset class. And then I can put my money in because I can ask the right questions and be able to assess a property, not just what a GP is telling me, through a Zoom call and say, hey, this is a great asset to put your money in. I needed to know the questions to ask. So then, of course, we got in and we said, for sure, we're action takers, we're business owners, let's be on the GP team. So now and whoever finds the deal, I'm using very straightforward lingo here, but if I go and I know where to look for apartment complexes that are for sale, and hopefully they're not in a distress situation, they're in this market, right? They have to sell, but it may be that their loan is just coming due and their IO is running out. So we need to know where to look for deals. And when I now am on a GP team, I can help control more getting in on the deal first, through some partners, through me finding it. And then they're going to be the ones that are going to pick the players on the field and by their superpowers. So on one asset we're closing in 30 days by Love Field, it needs a lot of CapEx, meaning that it needs some updates and improvement. Well, 3 gentlemen on our GP team of like 10 of us, well, there's probably 8, because if you're a married couple, it's kind of a 2-for-1. But 3 of them have construction backgrounds, have construction companies. So depending on the asset that you're purchasing, you got to know, okay, what's the right GP team for this particular asset? And then the next one that you may close, you can close multiple in a month. That's the difference between residential as well. Like we had 2 closings in December. So those may be different owners in different areas, right? We want Dallas, Houston, and Florida, but we also know that insurance is not writing new policy in Florida until after hurricane season. So you're learning all of this stuff it's real estate. It's just at a new level, and it's very exciting.
So we got about 5 minutes left. I'd like to go back to maybe giving the audience next steps. So if they're a solo practitioner or they run a team, what are the next steps they can take to realize running their business without them being present? How can they start that journey and that path on scaling and exiting their businesses?
Well, first it is business in order, right? So businessinorder.com, go take a test. But the questions we're going to ask is, are your processes in your head? So now we have to get them. If it's not written, it's not real. And it has to be in a video that then can be transcribed, for $1 a minute. And then now it's a process and we're able to teach, because we believe in 4S training system: see, share, shadow, show. Someone has to see you do it. You have to share with them what you're doing. Then they're shadowing you and you're shadowing them. They show you that they can do it. You can never have a business that runs without you if you don't first get out of the doing. And the way that you get out of the doing is, we love to make the list. And it's the list of everything you do during the day. Put a $sign by the income producing activities, put a heart by the ones you love to do, put a minus sign by the ones, or an X by the ones you don't want. Hire those, right? It may be a VA. It may be someone that is coming in to just we call it clean out the closet, all the things that you don't need to do anymore, don't want to do anymore. Get those off the list, and you continue to everything you do is in a video. We love video training, and then because it's easy to transcribe. So that is the first step, I would say. If you're in the doing, get into that business out of your head, onto paper, into video, and now hire your weaknesses, hire the things that you don't want to do, so you can focus more on the cash flow activities that are actually rainmaking. Go do that first. Now you've got income to be able to, hire your weaknesses.
Okay, perfect. And then after they sort of clean out their closet, got all the processes going, they're running a smooth business. The next step would be, would it be the hiring? They're going to be hiring their weaknesses.
Absolutely. And have such a compelling offer that it's not about the dollar, it's about the mission, the purpose. And it's got to be more than just the business, because the business is going to get stale to them too. If the purpose is big enough, what are we doing? We are changing a market. We're changing, a neighborhood. We're changing. This is the value proposition. And what's different? Like, we model properties. That's why we're Model Property Group, because we believe every property should be a model. And it's a lot easier to sell a model than just an average home. So what is the offer and what is the reason? So it's got to be different. For us, join us, learn multifamily as well. We model properties. We teach you multifamily. It's different than somebody else that just is growing a team. So go back to the offer, not to your clients, but to your team, that they see a road to growth and not just revenue, but they see that and they will be with you. Career moves. We want people with career moves, and you have a goal. And this is so great, Felix, because now you can think about, when we get into multifamily, our businesses can invest, and then that brings another line item of passive income for our teammates that actually want us as business owners to get out of the business and go buy more property. We're teaching them what we're doing. We're modeling it to them. So, you got to do it right with your taxes and all of those things and legal. But man, just have such a compelling offer that people will do the stuff you don't want to, because they know the growth is so magnificent they can't get it anywhere else, and they can't create it on their own.
Wow, that's amazing. Any final thoughts for the audience?
Final thought: keep doing it. Keep the pressure. Pressure is good. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. In this market is opportunity, not problems. And so we know that it's going to be the people that push forward and stay focused and have faith in themselves, in this incredible industry, with the people, their fellow realtors, and for the future. So that's it. Build something that can live beyond yourself. And I'm telling you, your kids, grandkids will thank you when you get into legacy wealth.
Wow. Yeah, guys, we better up our goals after hearing Jana talk. Jana, thank you so much for your time and sharing all your expertise. I hope everyone else was as inspired as I was. And let's go scale our businesses and exit. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.